بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
She used to be my neighbor.
नहीं एक्टिंग दोनों आगे पीछे करने हैं
पहले हम और
right out
we just walk in, they just walk in.
अच्छा उसका क्या सीन है?
When do I do my
Board side now.
when do I do my when she's in the hospital and
My name is Tartira and I've written this book called Of Hairs and I would like to talk about it. What inspired me to write that book was a little just coming back from my workplace. It's called Owen's Technology, and I saw a kid asking me for some money, and right there I used to ponder what I had so much special about me, that I have everything and he has nothing. So that was basically the first motivation, and I wanted to do something about that. Maybe write a song or do something else on that. So the thought of writing a book came in my mind, and I did write it. Writing this book has been truly a wonderful experience. A whole new world out there. I was not really writing it, I was kind of living it. The reason for its intensity is because I was so much into this character called Matthew, who's the protagonist of the book, that I was really into him. That is the reason there's a lot of intensity in the book. And I would also like to give some acknowledgements to my father, Preface. She has been a great help. I had a friend, she has been inspirational as well. Her name is Fariha Ahmed. I would also like to thank my parents, of course, and my brother and sister.
Alright, let's go.
Perfect.
ليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون. شروع کرتا ہوں اللہ کے نام سے جو بہت مہربان نہایت ہی رحم والا ہے. اور بھلا جس نے زمین اور آسمان کو پیدا کیا، کیا وہ اس چیز کے قابل نہیں کہ وہ انہیں دوبارہ پیدا کر دے؟ بے شک وہ بہت پیدا کرنے والا اور جاننے والا ہے. بے شک اس کی شان یہ ہے کہ جب وہ کسی چیز کا ارادہ کرتا ہے تو کہتا ہے کہ ہو جا، تو بس وہ ہو جاتی ہے. پس پاک ہے وہ ذات جس کے ہاتھ میں دنیا جہان کی بادشاہت ہے، اور اسی کی طرف تم کو لوٹ کر جانا ہے. صدق اللہ علیہ.
A quiet person standing away from the limelight with no discernible social life. He lets his pen do the talking. the kind that would outshine most eloquent of speakers. He lives among his characters. When one character falls ill, he loses hours of his own sleep. When one dies, he traverses graveyards to feel death. He hesitated from writing any incident in this book that he himself hadn't experienced emotionally. As long as he was writing of errors in Nile, he lived it, dreamed it, and cherished it. He even lost his appetite. We'd be concerned when from his room the sound of fingers toiling away at the keyboard was replaced with sobbing. When his characters cried, he cried. When they'd laugh, he'd come out laughing with them. Every word is carefully written until he was content. He did not modify anything from a single sentence to the title. We think he is not writing the story, but instead the story chose to express itself through him. At an age of inexperience, he has exhibited great acumen. This is the author's foray to read and this is the author's foray into what I feel will be followed by many dazzling works, and such show no sign of immaturity in writing. Each word conveys the short articulately in the most debonair of styles. Each word fits perfectly into a world of astonishingly descriptive characters and locale. Life is an ongoing process, and this literary piece serves as wonderful commentary on that process. Best of luck, Tasneem.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The most beneficial. My name is Naveed Niazi. I'll be your host for today, and we'll proceed with the proceedings. Okay? And we are all here. First of all, I would like to welcome all of you on this prestigious occasion to start with the inauguration ceremony of Tertil's debut novel, Of Errors and I. Okay? And first of all, I would like to call our honorable guest on stage to join Tertil and to give him honor. First of all, I would like to call Dr. Khaja Zikriya to join. Mr. Shehzad Ahmed Shehzad to join Tertil as well. Thank you so much, sir. And now, Ms. Rifat Naheed Sijal. Thank you so much. And now, I would like to call Mr. Majid Hassan. He's actually been with Tertil for the last 5 years, and he's actually his principal too. So he would actually give a brief sort of an idea about Tertil and how did he feel about his writing or his novel. Majid Hassan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much for the gracious introduction, Mr. Naveed. Respected chief guests, ladies and gentlemen of the audience, I would like to welcome you to this inauguration ceremony of Tertil's first book. I feel very honored today to be in such exalted company of individuals who have achieved all there is to achieve and more in their chosen professions. These people are inspiration for us, who we learn from, and we are indeed lucky today to be in the same room as them. Keeping that firmly in mind, I would like to begin by giving you an insight into the world of the writer who we are celebrating here today. Tertil Rao was born in 1988 in Lahore to what you would call today an arty family. He journeyed through several art forms in his childhood, His main expression in his early days was the form of music. He also delved into the world of television and drama, giving award-winning performances in a couple of PTV dramas as a child star. During his drama days, he harbored ambitions of becoming a film director, ambitions which are still alive today, and God wishes him luck that he achieves them. He's currently doing his BS Honours in Mass Communication from the Virtual University. And this is how I initially met Kartil. From the day he walked into my office, I've seen him blossom from a wayward adolescent into a consummate artist who we have sitting before us today. Kartil's academic career is a shining example for anyone, as I'm sure his literary career is going to be in years to come. He has topped his grade year after year, semester after semester, and has maintained a very healthy CGPA. A lot of students do that. So what's so special about it? My point today is to explain to you what has made his achievements so special. One of the major factors making his academic achievements so special is the balance with which he has managed his studies. I mean, he's not your regular traditional student. He has managed his studies while maintaining a very healthy social life. And during all that, he's managed to find time for his passion, which is art. And by art, I don't mean this. The art, like Kartil, is very multidimensional. From poetry to sketching, from the guitar to writing, his art had taken on many a form. I'm sure if he'd chosen the guitar over the pen, he would have been an equally good musician. But I'm glad that he chose the pen. Otherwise, we would have missed a lot. Another reason which make his achievements so special and why I'm so proud of him is that he's achieved academic and now literary excellence in spite of the fact that he did not need to. Need often acts as an impetus for all that is good in this world. In Kartil's case, however, he had a very loving family who provided him all the amenities he could ever desire and more. In such situations, it is not uncommon to find children losing their own identity and becoming sole dependents. This was not the case here. Kartil is a very special individual, and he's proved that to us time after time. I would like to share a short story with you of the first time I found out that Kartil was writing a novel. This is 2008 probably. He had written the first few chapters of what was later to become Of Errors and I. I'm no critic, but he was gracious enough to accept my comments about his writing, which were to the tune of that, boy, you need to work on this a lot if you want to make this publishable. Well, it was the truth. However, he wasn't writing to get it published. He was merely quenching a thirst for expression. It was his inner self which was coming out. He was a caged individual who had slowly but surely become an introvert during his teen years. As Mrs. Rifat Sajjad so eloquently put it in the preface to his book, others around his age prefer piercing over their eyebrows with jewels, stunt driving on their bikes in public on a single wheel. He loses himself from all this in a world of his own. This world was an extremely isolated one, and there was a battle raging within it. The battle was with the self. He was merely fighting the several identities he could have adopted and the several individuals which he might have become as a result of his decisions. Alright, all of us go through that phase. However, not many come out of it in a manner that Kartil has. You've got to be proud of him. I know we're in the company of some of the very famous people in this over here today. But honestly, what he's achieved at such a tender age of 23 is noteworthy. Life takes you through experiences which make you learn. Kartil's teenage years were riddled with experiences which made him into a young man who liked keeping to himself. Now, his new being needed an escape, an expression, so that it will stop from eating him inside. This new expression, which is new being God, is this, and it's wonderful. It is a tale which is not just well written, but is gripping and heart-wrenching for all of you who've read it. What impressed me most personally was not the technical aspects of his writing, but the feeling and the intensity with which the writer had immersed himself into his characters. It was beautiful. What I still cannot understand to this day, and I don't think I'll ever understand, is that how a young boy of such limited exposure can write and capture the human condition so accurately. He's written about subjects such as love, religion, and death in this short novel. Now, writers have spent a lifetime trying to perfect this, trying to capture the human condition in those emotions, and it's difficult, and I think he deserves a lot of appreciation. He comes from a family which values and more importantly understands art. His father is a renowned poet. He's spent a lifetime working in Pakistan television. His mother is also a renowned poetess. His khala is an eminent literary figure in her own right. However, he's had an upbringing which many would envy. However, he's never had the true mentorship for his art in the traditional sense, which actually makes Of Errors and I even more special. He's a shining light for the youth of today who've lost direction and focus. A lot of people can learn a lot of things from him. I can only wish him luck, and I hope whatever he chooses to do in his future is done with as much passion as Of Errors and I has been. Thank you. Well, without further delay, I would like to introduce another special person who's amongst us today. He's my co-host for today. He's actually a literary critic who's based in the London, UK. He's written several book reviews there. He's currently on an assignment in Pakistan, and we're lucky to have him here. So let's benefit from his wisdom, and let's see what he has to say about it. Mr. Naveed Niazi.
Thanks a lot, Majid. When I was for the first time told that I had to write a review about the novel Of Errors and I, being a person who've already done this kind of stuff before, first of all I saw the book and his father told me that my son's 20 years old. I thought it would be yet another waste of time. A kid that should have actually spent time on studying, rather wasted his time on writing a book. But when I saw the book itself, the name, what is it? Of Errors and I. It's actually the whole story. It describes the whole story within the novel. Of Errors and I, what does that mean? For example, if a person makes a mistake, that's correctable. An error just occurs, and there's no way you can correct it ever. So this novel is actually based on a story of a boy who never did anything wrong. Things happened to him. Okay? Let me just give you a brief sort of an idea what's the novel about. Okay? It's the story of Wayne and Salma, two friends who gave birth to a child, an illegitimate child, Matthew, who was forsaken by his mother at the time of his birth. Later, his father gave him to different nannies, paying them money when he actually needed a father. Later on, he thought that he found a family, but it wasn't this way. As in fate, he was supposed to be forgotten, forsaken. Then he falls in love with a girl from that family, thinking that that was the destiny, but it wasn't supposed to be. I won't just give you all the detail of the novel. I think it would be better if you would read it yourself and see what's in the novel. But it's a delight to read, a treat to read, for a person who knows about novels or literature. And that's all about it. Okay, and now, being a host as well, I would like to call Mr. Khalid Sharif, who is actually a renowned poet and the owner of Mavra Publishing, the company which published Tertil's novel. And it's actually an honor. Mavra Publishing is a company that would not just only publish any book, and Preface and I actually had an achievement that it got published through Mavra Publishing. And Mr. Khalid Sharif is a poet as well. A very famous sort of line from his poetry is "Picha kuch sada se ki rut hi badal gayi, ek shakhs sare shehar ko veeran kar gaya." Khalid Sharif.
I would like to say something in Urdu. तरतील राव की जो किताब हमने पब्लिश की है ऑफ एरर्स एंड आई, इसके लिए जब पहली बार इनके बारे राव जुल्फ़िकार फारूक साहब जो खुद बहुत ही बड़े शायर हैं, बहुत अच्छे शायर हैं, और उनकी वालदा शहनाज परवीन साहिबा जो खुद बहुत अच्छी शायर हैं, जब तशरीफ़ लाए तो वाकई मुझे खुद हैरत हुई कि अभी 20 साल का बच्चा है और ये क्या नावल लिखे। लेकिन जब ये इस प्रोसेस में आए हैं और जब नावल हमने उनका पढ़ा तो वाकई हमने महसूस किया कि मावरा का जो हमने एक मयार मुकर्रर कर रखा है किताबों के इशात का, वो इस कमूदी में भी उस पर पूरे उतर हैं। तो हमने ये किताब शाया की इनकी, और ये साथ साथ अशात के प्रोसेस में भी इन्होंने मुकम्मल दिलचस्पी ली और ये साथ रहे। और मुझे उम्मीद है कि इनका ये नावल जो है वो बैनुल अक़वामी तौर पर भी रिसीव किया जाएगा, और ये बच्चा इंशाअल्लाह नाम पैदा करेगा अपने वालिदैन के लिए और अपने मुल्क के लिए।
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Sharif. I would now like to invite a very special person who's amongst us today. He's been in show business for a long time. He's been working with PTV for a lifetime. He's a renowned poet. He's also the father of the young man here, who's our author. Call him later. So can I please invite Tertil's mother onto stage, Ms. Shiran Pareen.
मेरे घर के आंगन में कुछ फूल खिले हैं, उनमें तबरेज़, तरतील, सिदरा और फिज़ा है। मेरा काम उनकी खुशियों, दुखों, कामयाबियों और किसी तरह की भी ऊंच नीच में उनको शांत रखना है। आज का दिन मेरे तरतील का दिन है। उसने एक खूबसूरत नावल लिखा है। अभी कल ही की बात है कि वो मेरा तरतील पेंसिल पकड़ना सीख रहा था। मैं कच्ची पेंसिल से कुछ हरूफ लिखती थी और उसका नन्हा हाथ उस अपने हाथ में लेकर उन हरूफ के ऊपर लिखना सिखाती थी, और फिर मुझे पता भी न चला कि कब उसका नन्हा हाथ मेरे हाथ की बंदिशों से आगे निकल चुका था। उसका कलम रवां हो चुका था, ताहम वो सीख रहा था कि कैसे इन लफ्ज़ों से एक कहानी खुलती है और ये लफ्ज़ काबू में रखे जा सकते हैं। वो आज भी अपनी मोहब्बतों, अपने गैस, अपने सुख, अपने दुख, अपनी नफरतों, चाहतों को कागज़ की कश्तियाँ बनाकर मेरी ममता की खामोश नदी में छोड़ दिया करता है। मैं इन कश्तियों को कभी डोलने नहीं देती, यहाँ तक कि जब वो एक उजली सतर बनकर दुनिया का सामना करेगा। अपनी ज़ात की जानिब बढ़ने वाले कई अंधेरों से वो आज भी डर जाता है मुझे उस दिन का इंतज़ार है जब उसे मेरी और मुझ जैसे बुज़दिल लोगों की हिम्मत बनना। और उस दिन मैं अपनी ज़िंदगी की बची हुई मुट्ठी भर रोशनी भी अपने बच्चों के हवाले कर दूँगी। अभी तो मैं उसके लिखे हुए पहले नावल पर से फूटती किरणों को फैलते देख रही हूँ। मैंने उसे ये नावल लिखते हुए लम्हा लम्हा देखा है। वो अपने हर किरदार के साथ हंसता भी था, रोता भी था। कर्ब की कैफियत ऐसी बढ़ती कि खाना पीना ही छोड़ दिया करता था। फिर वो दिल नवाज लम्हे भी आए जब उसने मुझे अपना पूरा नावल पढ़कर सुनाया, क्योंकि मेरी अंग्रेजी तो बस पाँव पाँव चलती है जबकि उसकी अंग्रेजी दौड़ती है। इस सब कुछ के बावजूद उसके नावल की पहली कारी तो मैं ही थी और बड़ी हैरान थी कि वो जज्बों के थाल में जुमलों को कैसे सजा कर रख देता है। ये सब करिश्मे उसने कब और कहाँ सीखे। कितनी ही बातें वो अब मुझे समझाने लगा है और यही वो घंटी है जिसकी आवाज़ पर आपको थम जाना पड़ता है, रास्ते की पैमाइश बजाने वाला पत्थर बनकर। आपका राहरो अगली मंजिलों से आशना हो जाने के लिए आगे ही आगे बढ़ता चला जाता है। मील का पत्थर रास्ते की तफसील समझाते समझाते धुंधला जाता है और यहाँ तक के मालूम हो जाता है। आखिर में मुझे कुछ वाजबात अदा करने हैं। शुक्रिया रिफत सजाद कि जहाँ तरतील के लिए मैं नाकाफ़ी पड़ी वहाँ तुम थी। शुक्रिया फ़ारूक, मैंने तो इस किताब को छपवा ही दिया था, लेकिन आपकी वजह से आपके बेटे का ये फंक्शन उसकी ज़िंदगी की एक खूबसूरत याद बनेगा। शुक्रिया मेरे बिजी बेटे के तुमने परदेश में रहते हुए भी छोटे भाई की हर ज़रूरत का ख्याल किया। शुक्रिया सिद्रा और फिज़ा कि तुम दोनों तरतील के मुझसे कहीं बेहतर दोस्त हो। शुक्रिया मिस शुमाइला कि आपने प्रूफ रीडिंग के लिए बहुत मेहनत से उसका साथ दिया। और शुक्रिया खालिद शरीफ का जिन्होंने उसकी किताब को बड़े खूबसूरत अंदाज में और बड़े प्यार से तैयार किया। और आखिर में शुक्रिया अदा करती हूँ मैं तमाम मोअज़्ज़िज़ मेहमानों का, खुसूसन सर माजिद का जो तरतील के उस्ताद हैं, जिनको तरतील के टैलेंट पर पूरा भरोसा रहा। अल्लाह करीम तरतील की ज़िंदगी को कामयाबियों और सुखों से हमकिनार करे। आमीन।
In the meantime, we've been joined by our president. Can you please put your hand together for Mr. Nizar Hussain? Thank you. We'll proceed with the proceedings. I'd like to invite Naveed back for a small passage to read from the book. He selected a couple of passages he'd like to read to you. Okay, Mr. Naveed.
Thanks a lot, Majid. I'll proceed with the recitation from the book. Okay, but let me just give you a brief sort of an idea. How would I proceed with it? Okay, what's the background of the recitation? As I mentioned earlier, the story is about a forsaken child. Okay, till this time, when I'm going to read the recitation, the writer hadn't really mentioned that that kid was him. Okay? Now the writer would mention that forsaken child was actually himself. Now, if you know me quite well, even before I told you about me, then I guess it's not really my fault, but that child who did millions of sin right after his birth happens to be me. And no matter how hard I try, I just can't change the fact. When I was born into this world, I had a very colorful life to go on, but none of its color belonged to me. In fact, I felt everything existed to tease me. There is often an aura of melancholy if the child turns out to be normal after birth. I was born normal, but Salma and her mom were still upset. Perhaps my birth itself was anomalous. At one side, it was the end of someone's problems, and on the other side, it was the beginning for someone else. Yet again, I'm talking about the later in my case. I lived the first 5 weeks of my life with Salma, but then I was given to a nanny. I doubt that even an animal could do such a heroic act. They say that a mother cannot bear separation from her child, especially newborn. But Salma proved them wrong and went back to England. She tried forgetting everything that happened to her and didn't contact Wayne for a long while. Certainly she was trying to live a whole new life, which had nothing to do with her aberrant past. There are times when you get to know some realities about yourself. She had understood some as well. She was ready to live her life with someone she barely knew. I could never understand what pushed her to do this, but maybe it was the fear of losing her parents. Wayne's memory, however, was somewhat better than Salma's, as he still remembered their forsaken and forgotten child. He asked her about her parents' reaction to it, but was exceedingly dumbfounded to know that she actually gave birth to a child she could not utter a word for some time. After hearing the details she gave him, she told him how she feels so low to think that her father is paying and raising their illegitimate child. They had a good understanding, and Wayne understood that she is actually asking to take the child's custody. That's all from the passage. And now I would like to call Tartil's father, Mr. Rauzul Fakar, to come and talk about Tartil. It's really sort of a pleasure. I'm not a father now. I wish I could be a father in future, but I can understand how would a father feel having such a sort of a child who would in young age write something of such quality. Mr. Rauzul Fakar.
जनाब इंतज़ाम से जनाब शहजाद और डॉक्टर साहिब साहब मेरे उस्ताद भी हैं आबिद शरीफ साहब, तमाम लोगों का शुक्रिया और तमाम हाज़रीन का शुक्रिया आप तशरीफ़ लाए। मुअज़्ज़िज़ हाज़रीन, जिस तरह किसी बाप डॉक्टर का ऑपरेशन थिएटर में अपने बेटे का खुद ऑपरेशन करना बहुत मुश्किल मरहला होता है, इसी तरह मेरा अपने बेटे के नावल पर मज़मून लिखना उतना ही मुश्किल मरहला। हाज़रीन, बड़ा अदब, बड़ी शायरी और बड़ी नसर वो होती है जो इंसान को खामोशी की सरहदों के पार ले जाए। बड़ी नसर वो है जो आपको लिखे हुए लफ्ज़ों से मुकम्मल रिहाई दे दे, मुकम्मल आज़ाद कर। वो नसर या शायरी आपके वजूद में कहाँ तक नफूज कर रही है? क्या एक लम्हे के लिए नफूज कर रही है या वापस ना आने के? तरतील का नावल ऑफ एरर्स एंड आई इसका जीता जागता मज़ा है। नावल में कहानी, प्लॉट, किरदार, मुकालमा, बॉडी लैंग्वेज, नफ्सियाती और समाजी शऊर, किरदारों का इज्तिमाई लाशऊर, ज़मान व मकान की बंदिशें, थीसिस, एंटीथीसिस, सिंथेसिस, उसलूब, किरदारों का पहनावा, उनका आपस में जज्बाती और नफ्सियाती ताल्लुक, ये सब कुछ डिस्कस करना नकादों का काम है। नावल एक शतरंज और पुतली तमाशा है कि मुसन्निफ कब और कौन सा किरदार और कौन सा मोहरा चलता है। मेरी कम इल्मी देखिए कि मुझसे तो तरतील के नावल ऑफ एरर्स एंड आई के टाइटल का तर्जुमा भी उर्दू या पंजाबी ज़बानों में नहीं हो सकता। मैं सच्चे दिल से ये समझता हूँ कि तरतील के इस नावल का तर्जुमा फ़ारसी में मेरे नज़दीक बनो के खार मी रक़्सम है। बनो के खार मी रक़्सम। मंदरजा बाला निकात जो मैंने अभी बयान किए हैं उन पर उर्दू और अंग्रेज़ी के दर्जनों नकाद और क़ारीन अपनी कीमती आरा दे सकते हैं। मेरे नज़दीक तरतील का ये नावल रेडिएशन है और बस रेडिएशन। हाज़रीन गिरामी, मैं एक तवील अरसे तक ये समझता रहा कि शायरी की आबजू कल्ब से होकर गुजरती है और नसर की नदी जहन से होती है, मगर तरतील के नावल के मुताले के बाद मुझे अपनी ये राय बदलनी पड़ी। तरतील की नसर शायरी के करीब तर है और इस नसर की असर अंगेजी और गिरफ्त से कारी एक ख़ास सहर अंगेजी की कैफियत में आ जाए। ये कैफियत नसर में सहर आफरीनी कहलाती है और इसके मज़ाहिर शायरी में वजदानी कैफियत में आश्कार होते हैं। इस तरह ये नदी जहन के पुरपेच रास्तों से होती हुई कल्ब की अथाह गहराइयों में उतर जाती है। दिल दरिया समंदरों डूंगे कौन दिला दिया जाने पीछे बेड़े पीछे छेड़े पीछे आने। वो वालिदैन निहायत खुश नसीब होते हैं जिनको तरतील के उम्र के बच्चों के बारे में ताने शिकवे शिकायतें नहीं सुननी पड़ती। मैं इस मामले में बहुत खुशकिस्मत बाप हूँ, मगर अफसोस कि इस मामले में तरतील उतना खुशकिस्मत नहीं। तरतील को मेरे बारे में अब तक शिकायतें सुननी पड़ती। तरतील पर मैं जितना भी फख्र करूं उतना कम है। तरतील में ये तख्लीकी सलाहियत उसके जीन्स में पाई जाती है। तरतील के दादा राव महमूद अली महमूद, जिनकी शायरी का मजमुआ कच्ची किरण शबनम के नाम से शायर हो चुका है, बहुत ही मुनफरिद उसलूब के मुमताज शायर हैं। मैं भी बुरी भली तुकबंदी कर लेता हूँ, मगर तरतील के तख्लीकी तुलू का असल मंबा तरतील की वालदा है, मेरी अहलिया शहनाज फरीद साहब। मुल्क की बहुत ही अहम शायरा है। देखिए अब फिर मेरे लिए लिखना मुश्किल होगा। हाज़रीन, बेकलामी की तलाश हर बड़े कलाम का असल मकसद होता है। बेकलामी की तलाश हर बड़े कलाम का असल मकसद होता है। तरतील ने इतनी सी उम्र में जिन मुशाहिदात, तजुर्बात और माबादी तिबियाती कैफियत का एहसास अपने इस नावल में दिलाया है, बहुत कम लिखने वालों को नसीब होता है। दो तहजीबों का इम्तिजाज उसके क्राफ्ट को जाहिर करता है और बैनुल सुतूर सहर, जादू और मैजिक उसकी राइटिंग स्किल्स को जाहिर करता है। आपने बहुत कम देखा होगा कि बाप और बेटा दोनों बैक वक्त उस्ताद और शागिर्द भी हों। क्लासरूम में तो हो सकते हैं, मगर शागिर्द सिर्फ बेटा ही होता है। मगर यहाँ मामला मुख्तलिफ है। एक ही वक्त में तरतील मेरा शागिर्द होता है और मैं उस्ताद होता हूँ, और थोड़ी देर में तरतील मेरा उस्ताद होता है और मैं तरतील का शागिर्द। है ना हैरानकुन बात। असल बात यह है कि आजकल मैं तरतील को इब्न अरबी की फुसूस लिख पढ़ा रहा हूँ और तरतील मुझे मिल्टन की पैराडाइज लॉस्ट। खुशकिस्मत बाप वो होता है जिसका बेटा उससे आगे चला जाए, और मैं हकीकतन एक बहुत खुशकिस्मत बाप। मैं बहुत कुछ लिखना चाहता था, मगर वक्त की कमी आड़े आ रही है। आखिर में गालिब के एक शेर पर अपनी बात खत्म नहीं बल्कि मुकम्मल करूंगा कि तरतील, तुम सलामत रहो 1000 बरस, तुम सलामत रहो 1000 बरस, हर बरस के हो दिन 50।
You're great reading today, and it'll keep like this. Words not just of a father, but I think of a critic. And yes, we have to agree that the boy has written something special. He definitely has written something special. I'd like to invite Ms. Silbert now to read another couple of passages from the book of Arrows and Dice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. The passage I'm going to read out is where Matthew is drawn up